Okay, so here's what I decided to do for my spacer. I picked up some 1/8 inch aluminum 1-inch flat stock. I can always double it up and make a 1/4 inch, which I think is what I need. And I made a little template here, which is I think what I'm going to do. I'm going to go across the top with these. Do one across the top, one across the top. This didn't really have any support on the sides here, so I don't think I need any support either. It's such a small, call it a small gap, but I think that should do. I could go vertical because the braces inside are vertical, so maybe I could go vertical. Are they equidistant? Looks like they are. Yeah, so I could just cut these up and swap them if I think that's more sturdy. And then measuring out, I think it's closer to a full inch difference. It's very hard to measure. Either way, I got to get the hole drilled. I think it's 5/8. And I want to do that flat section. It's going to bring it in quite a bit. And then I'll go back to shimming. If I have to double these up, that's fine. That'll be a 1/4 inch. That still have plenty of stud in there. But if it's a full inch, that doesn't leave much at all. So the pedal might be a C hair higher. But we'll see. I'll let you know when we get there. And there you have it. Drilled out these plates with a stepper bit and some drill bits too. I think I will go. This is going to be up and down. This is on its side to match that bracing in there. Up and down, up and down. Those will just slide on. It gained me a 1/4 inch. I went ahead and drilled this out. The same stepper 5/8 bit on this side, and then flipped it and did the other side. And I just checked my switch, which fits in there. Actually, it's a little loose. God damn it. But let's see, was it loose on the other one? Oh yeah, it was loose on the other one too. So, oh well. Next I have to put this flat spot on here. I just measured, probably be another way to measure this, but it's like 10, 11, let me focus. 12 thousandths of an inch. So if I come over here, yeah, it's going to shave off that much. I'll make a nice straight line and figure out how to get that nice. Yeah, I got to find my grinder to do that. And my grinder is probably back there somewhere. Yeah. Oh, actually, no, I think it's over here. It's in this pile. Perfect. Ground that flat. It's about 0.75 from the edge of the hole to the flat. Same as the other one. And that is what you need to make your brake lights work. Hopefully it's still going to work. It's kind of a weird, just kind of, it toggles at an angle. Like, just that movement, the angle change is what makes your light go on. It's not really the in and out, I believe. I think it's the angle. But yeah, I've heard it's got to be a little, got to get this pretty precise, so that's why I was trying to do that. So, all right, let's do a test fit. All right, test fit went well. These are going to work nicely, I think. Putting it on the pedal, it really puts it up. I'll show you. Puts it up at an angle, but once it's on, it seems to be straight. And just I have to, and then I couldn't get this bushing to fit my 5/8 hole, so I just had to file my hole a little bit to get this bushing in, because this bushing is for our brake light switch, which it took me a minute to figure out. It's going to go like that. The way this works is it has to have just the slightest bit of tension on it. That's why you got to have this filed not too far, because it puts just a little bit of tension on the switch. And then I guess as you rock it, that's your brake lights. So it's gonna have like, if it's good on my other one, I gotta see if this is, yeah, see how it's just a little off. I think that, hopefully this is gonna work. Or somebody said you can shim it. I don't know, maybe a little JB Weld. I don't know. So it sits on there like that, and click, 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 just that little movement. I don't know. It's kind of weird for brake light switch to me. Normally they're a little plunger. The cruise control on this has a plunger up in there. Just gave these little hold me in place tape, so when I'm sliding this in, they don't fall out. And I got some foam to fill in the void here. That'll crush up nicely. Otherwise you'd have a nice air gap there. We don't want air, road noise and all that. Probably could do a little better foam. This is a little open cell, but I'll see what else I got. Maybe I got something better. Okay, everybody, Mike the Fixer. I'm here and back. I should say we're here back. I'm getting tired of hearing we in these videos from people. What we're going to do today, there's nobody else. It's just you. You're not some multi-corporation. We know it's just you. Anyway, next I'll do a will it run video. This is, brake bleeding. We're going to put this master cylinder in the bench, do a bench bleed. With this little hose kit, you get that at the store. They work pretty good. Probably leak all over the place. That's why we got paper towel. We'll give that a quick bleed, and then we'll put it on the vehicle. And I'll show you from there. I think we might do the portioning valve, some bleeding. It's just that simple. Filled it with fluid, only went like halfway. My hoses are submerged, you can see. And then you're simply just using a improvised plunger, bleeding the air out of the master cylinder back into itself. That sounds like it's sucking air. I'm gonna make sure both of these are in there. Alright, I'll work on this a few minutes and then we'll put it on. Alright, back in place, bolted in. Just gonna lift these lines loose because I have to sneak them around and underneath. Then I will tighten them at my P valve. Now this is something I've never, believe it or not, I don't think I've ever bled a portioning valve. There's a tool that goes on here. Yep. Well, this one's a little different, but there used to be like a little nub that would pull out and it would get any trapped air in there. And I don't think we ever did that in my many years as a mechanic. But I guess because we never did a dry, if I did a dry system like this where everything is new, maybe I would. I guess maybe that's the reason I never did it. Or I just tuned it out. I think there's another tool that goes, you can go right in the switch. But let's see if I can improvise something on this. Well, I got a leak. I got this line right here is leaking. I think it must have a bad flare, so I'm going to try and take it off in place and put the flaring tool in there. It's probably better, this is too close to the EGR valve anyway. I can shorten that line a little bit. Alright, I was able to get the cutter in there, cut it. And here's the piece. Let's see if we can focus. One thing I see is that it's not perfectly round. See that little flat side? Other than that, yeah, maybe that wasn't the best. So I'll get my tool in there and put another flare in there, hopefully a little better. Let's get some light in there for ye. That looks a lot better. It's a little more round, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, this is easier done off the vehicle, everybody. I just didn't want, that's the line that went under the brake booster and there's a union, or junction, I should say. And I just didn't want to take all this out again. But let's see if she leaks. Okay, with that all put together, I should be able to go pump the brakes. Just put a dry towel there to see if anything is going to leak. Why don't I go do that? I'll leave you zoomed in. Right to the floor. That slowly went to the floor, but let's see. Yeah, that fucker's leaking still. So I'm gonna be. Ooh, I've got a couple leaks. Alright, that one's, I think. It might have been just that one. Let's see. Let's see if there's a junction under here. See if that leaked on in here. Not seeing anything on that. Okay. Alright, let me see if I can get these. See, why wouldn't this leak? I mean, look at the angle of that. Can you see that? No, I went too low for you guys. Like, if anything would leak, I would think that. So it's going into the fitting at an angle. Alright, let me do some adjustments. Alright, back together, no leaks. I'm still going to deal with the electric over there. I might pull that out. I want to bleed the brakes. I just can't get. I got to get it out of here. I can't work like this. It's too tight in here. I did the back brakes. So there's definitely still a lot of brake fluid. So we're gonna back it out and let's hook the battery back up. All right, YouTube, back out here on the Jeep, bleeding the brakes on this sucker. Getting lots of air, lots of gook out of this system. My pedal sucks. Still soft. Everything's new. This is what's bugging me. And then looking for leaks. I'm like, what the hell? That's oil. The oil pressure sending unit on this is leaking. It's right here. It's a GM. It's exactly like a GM one to me. So I'm gonna have to Amazon to the rescue, because why would an auto parts store have that? And be here tomorrow. So I'm going to keep plugging away at this. See if I can get any more air out of it. Even you disconnect the booster, even just pumping the brake, the pedal gets hard, but I wouldn't say rock hard. Right, we're back on. Operation worst brake system ever on the old Jeep. After some further research, we've determined that the full write-up on this brake conversion, when you have the crappy power. God, it's early in the morning. I can't even speak. What am I doing here? Oh, the Bendix 9. Yeah, getting rid of that system. I had a 1/4-inch plate in here, which, brought my measurements right, but my pedal was sticking. You push down the brake, it would hang up. So the rod obviously was under tension still. And that makes sense, because there is a little bit of a difference in the angle of the push rod. Somebody mentioned on one of the posts that I read, they re-drilled a hole. It's not that much, so I added a washer on the, on the upper 2 bolts, so it propped it, gave it just a little bit of an angle, so that changed the push rod inside, so it lines up a little better. And I think just that extra width of the washer, I'm not getting it hanging up anymore. Still getting a lot of travel with the pedal, and I stumbled on another forum, somebody who'd done this, and they're like, yeah, the wheel cylinders on these with the ABS had a smaller bore. Now I assume they're talking the bore of the internals, volume of the fluid. So you're getting less fluid on a vehicle with ABS. Maybe something to do with because they're pulsating brakes, perhaps, or it's got to be something with the ABS. So because I'm going to a non-ABS, I think I'm going to try. There's some different size wheel cylinders. There's a 7/8 bore, no 3/4 on this ABS, and I think it's like a 13/16 or something is the non-ABS. So they're $14. I figure it's worth a shot. This has the 9-inch drums. You measure your drums. It's the. Let me flip this around so you can see. It's the inside measurement. You're doing the surfaces. Because the outside, you do the outside, it's like 11. This isn't. So I believe we're going to go with the inside measurement is what it's always been, as far as I know. From there, we're going to get, 2 cylinders. I'll try that, bleed it out. Hopefully my pedal will be a little bit better. That's it. This is just... I do a lot of research usually when I do my conversions or any project I'm going to take on, and this one was kind of buried. Like nobody really spoke about. Oh yeah, my pedal still sucks. You got to change the wheel cylinders. It makes sense. Maybe more fluid, get more stopping power. I think a lot of it is the conversions I'm reading are guys who strictly off-road with their Jeeps, so. They just want to be able to stop big tires. It wasn't a lot of people getting rid of the Bendix system. It was mostly guys going from single diaphragm to double for bigger tires. So we'll try this today and go from there. Alright, so I went ahead and picked up the 13/16 wheel cylinder. Supposedly the bigger one. I hope that's what I want. Visually, you're not going to see a difference, but I'm going to get these brakes cleaned up. This is just a pea pad. Anyone pet lovers out there, these are good for soaking up crap. So, highly recommend you get some of those if you're going to be doing messy work like this. So I'm going to get my brake tools out and pull those springs, and then the rest I think I just got to do from behind. If you don't know already, these are brake tools. These are for your doing rear drums. These are a necessity. So it's a 3/8 line wrench for the line, 3/8 bolt, and this is the one you love to use. It's for these suckers right here. Let's see if I can focus on here. Just a simple twist. That's all you're doing. You're taking that. Bang, bang. That's simple. Try and do that with the pliers. And then putting it back on later is this one right here. Boom. I won't do it right now because, time constraints. I guess these cables break too on people. If you're doing a brake job, get some new cable. That's your adjuster. And I think I won't even have to get that out of the way. I think once I loosen the bolts and the line, this wheel cylinder will slide right out of there. I'm just gonna get it off, the shoe off of the piston, like that side is popped out a little bit. Alrighty. Alright, so here's the difference. I was able to slide it right out of there. A little manipulating of the shoe, rather. It does look visually a little bit bigger. I threw my micrometer on there. So this, calling it a bore, is the same. That's what we really care about because we need it to fit in the backing plate. See if my micrometer's got a battery. It's kind of a low. That's 126 for the whole thickness. This one's a little smaller, so this one's like 121. So I think the bore they're talking about is inside, like we said. Like we said, my company here. But yeah, it's kind of hard to see on camera, but that is definitely a little bigger bore. So hopefully that will give us some more braking juice. Oh, Jesus. This was staying for me doing the brakes, but I got a little surprise underneath here. You can see already some debris. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's a shoe that has come apart. Ah, look at that wheel cylinder. That is probably my culprit, unless it's axle seal as well. Usually an axle seal that in there. Now they had the rear end apart on this. This is funny. They rebuilt the rear end on this for him. He gets a car. This is a dealership, by the way. This thing was taken to a dealer for a major computer drivability issue, and he found a dealer that still works on these old bones. They rebuilt the rear end, gave it back to him. He's like, Mike, I still got a noise in it. I take it for a ride. You can hear the pinion bearing howling. I popped the differential fill. I had to put a quart in it. So they fucking delivered it back to him. They must have had it on the lift. Maybe the wheel's hanging, filled the differential, put it down on the ground, so maybe it was low, I'm guessing. And gave it back to him. And then he brings it back to the dealer, and they wouldn't look at it because of the brakes system. They're like, no, we can't stop it. I'm like, just fucking take the rear end apart and fix your mistake, you hacks. And obviously they must have seen this. You can't do a rear end without pulling the axles. These are new axles they charged them for. I remember that was on the list. They did new axles and bearings and forgot about the pinion noise. Unbelievable. I don't miss the dealerships working there. That's just hackery, though, you know. Not all of them. I don't want to give them all a bad rap, but come on. Anyway, so I guess I gotta get shoes for this thing now. Jesus, I didn't even see this. There's no material. The material's gone. That must be what all this is. Because the drum is good. Drum doesn't have a groove in it. So this literally just fell apart as I took the drum off. Yeah, it's just soaked with whatever brake fluid or gear oil. They're both pretty. Jesus. Oh man, do I need a brake hardware too? Is that spring broken? How about this? Check this before I go pick up shoes. Oh my god. Wowzers. You know, before I went to the store, I pulled off the left rear. Because it was in the garage. I could get to the left side. I couldn't get to the right side. So had I pulled out the truck like this, pulled this side off to measure the drum, I would have seen this and not have to make another trip. God damn it. Kind of sucks when you have just a single car garage and you can't work on it inside, you got to work on it outside. Woe is me. Oakley dokley, YouTube. MikeTheFixer here. I'm back. This is going to be an insert video for the Jeep. I had several days of diagnosing, chasing my tail. I had no brake pedal after doing all these good components. And rather than bore you guys with my diagnosis and just constant aggravation, I'll just get to the point. In the next video, we'll show you what the problem was. But this is what it was. A couple videos mentioned the brake pedal was different on different model years, or I guess the WJ, XJ maybe. But I was like, well, when I had my rod coming out of the booster here, mounting to my pedal, this is the original hole here, in the car, This is actually down at an angle, all this. Or actually, is it up? I think it's up at an angle. Everything, the firewall, everything's pitched up. So when I had, I'm sorry, it's going to be pitched down, I think, because what I was doing was I was getting, the rod was coming out and I was making it level. And making it level brought it up to the original hole. But if you just let it come out naturally and find the middle, the hole's somewhere down here more. And that was my whole problem. I could not bleed the brakes. Because for whatever reason, this was going in probably in an angle. And a booster is just a diaphragm in there. So maybe it was compressing just the bottom of the diaphragm. And that was only activating my front brakes or just giving me weak pressure altogether. But it acted like a bad master cylinder, bad air in the lines. It was crazy. You couldn't hear a vacuum leak. So that's the only thing I can think of. It was just compressing the diaphragm at an angle. So if I'd put this in level to inside the vehicle, not level to the ground, that puts your hole, I have to drop it down about yay much. I'd say an inch. I've actually vice gripped it in place. This is probably the best point where the pedal felt the best to me. So I'm just going to obviously get it centered over more. Center punch, drill a hole, and go from there. Hope that saves a lot of aggravation to people. You might, if you do this, go to the junkyard, maybe get the pedal too. I should have grabbed the pedal. I did actually go to the junkyard at one point because I thought my booster was bad. But I deleted all that. You don't need to see all that. But I can always add it in later if anyone's interested. All right, onward. Oh, this effing XJ. Well, I haven't been time to work on it. I've been busy, some day job stuff in these trying times. But I came out here again today, and I wasn't getting fluid to the rear brakes still. So I did a bunch of stuff. I did that swap I said in the little piston, take that O-ring off. I did that. Tried another proportioning valve. I checked this master cylinder for pressure. It's getting good pressure. Getting pressure out the rear. Took off the rear line. Was getting good pressure right before the rubber line. So I said, well, maybe our rubber line's collapsed. So I've replaced that. Bled all the brakes. It's just a nightmare, and the pedal just is worse. Felt like it was sinking. So anyway, I was in here playing with the brake switch because I think when I put this in, I didn't trim enough, so it was under tension. You don't want any tension. You want it loose, and then when you push the brake, it toggles. Click, click. So my brake lights were staying on. So I was playing with that, and then I'm like, some people mentioned you have to get a brake pedal. I think you got to get the brake pedal too. I was like, and mine seemed to line up. Let's see, can you see I got the vice grip on there. That's a good angle right there. And if I vice grip it, I think you can see the hole right above it there. Yeah, that's the hole right above it. I bring it down there, my pedal's perfect. I have not a problem. I got a nice hard pedal. All the what seems like a bad booster, bad master problems go away. So I must be in the upper position. I must be just enough at an angle that this I'm bleeding off air or vacuum internally or something, because it's not like an external thing. See, you can see that angle it both looks straight on, but it's hard when you're underneath here. But I'm going to drop it down almost. Can you give me some better light there? Or it's either that or I go get a pedal to junkyard from the same rig. But I'm pretty confident I can just drill a lower hole. It's not going to compromise the steel. Like right about, you can see my scribe mark there. Even lower than that scribe mark was better. because at that scribe mark the pedal wasn't returning all the way. I dropped it down just a little bit. The pedal will come all the way back up on its own. So, most bizarre, aggravating thing. So I get this pedal out, put it in the vise, and grind, drill a hole in it. Crikey. Okay, brake pedal is securely mounted in the vise with a lot of surface area. We don't want it to move. We're actually hitting the bottom here too. I've used the proper tool, center punch, best thing you can ever buy. Go out and buy one. You just push on it. Bam! Makes you a nice dimple. Drill bit will not be walking all over the place. Starting with a small bit, we're going to work our way up. Okay. You get the idea. No skipping sizes. And then I think we're going up to, that's pretty good. Was that a 1/2 inch? No, why would it be? It's 13/32. Well, that might be it. It might be that was a little tight. We'll see. All right, I'll keep you posted, but I got that nice and straight too. I measured over everything, so dead center. And there you have it. This hole's a little bit big. I don't know why they do that, but this one's a little big too. Not quite the same size, but I'm happy with it. I was able to skip every other bit as we get up to size. Seemed to help. It's some tough stuff. It's pretty hardened because it is a brake pedal. So let's. I think we're ready to test fit this in the vehicle. Well, that's a wrap, folks. That's the finished product. You can see the bolt just above that. It's the old bolt hole. Switch is in. You can hear it toggles properly. Everything's lubed up. Brake pedal is 99% better. I'll give that 1%. Ooh. So, that about wraps up this bad boy. Everything's tucked back in. One thing I probably should do is tuck in some of the wiring for the ABS, clean that up. And then I think that is it for this bad boy. She's going to go bring a trailer, folks. Maybe keep an eye on that if you're in the market for a nice one-owner 1990 XJ. It's got 120, but it was maintained. The guy was a lawyer. You know those guys. They just take care of everything except for their clients. Had to get that in there. All right, hope this helps somebody else. Hope you guys enjoyed. And until the next one.